Now, you guys know how Fujifilm is developing that box-style cinema camera they call Eterna. Imagine if Fujifilm took their X-H2S and they put that in a cinema box-style camera. I'm telling you guys what, I would be the absolute first one in line to pick up that camera. I truly believe it would be a tremendous hit with a lot of people that want to get into the Fujifilm ecosystem, but they don't want a hybrid camera like what the X-H2S is. They want something that is a capable cinema camera that is reliable, that has the heat management. It has all the inputs, XLR, external power, ND filters, like ND filters built in what, the Eterna is going to have. And just for the fun of it, I asked ChatGPT to create an image of what this camera might look like. And here is what it came up with. And I honestly think that the representation of what this camera could look like, just with the inputs and just the body style and usability of it in a professional environment, I think this would be an absolutely amazing camera to have. Now, if I could have a wish list, what I would want is built-in NDs, XLR inputs. I want timecode. I want waveforms. I want vector scopes. And these are all things that are, very much needed when you're using a cinema camera body. You want all this connectivity because when you're in an environment where you're shooting with a group of people, you just want to be part of that workflow and not kind of, have to rig out the camera. For example, right now, my X-H2S has a Tascam attached to the top of it, but this is like a separate piece that has to go on top. I lose the top handle and the ability to attach a monitor to it when I have this Tascam thing attached to it. Although I will say it is a very, very nice attachment. It gives me very high quality XLR, and it is a very, very nice tool to have, but it again requires you to rig out the camera. If you want the X-H2S to be, very reliable in a hot environment that, requires long takes, just long shoots, you have to get a little fan attachment in the back. Now, the fan attachment is nice, but it forces you to have your monitor swung out, and it's really not ideal because when you're using it in a fast-paced environment, you get into situations where you really worry about your little monitor. It could, break off or you get bumped, and there goes your monitor. So having this, box-styled body would be so ideal. It would be so ideal because it has all the connectivity built in. You can rig it out, you can put a monitor on top, but the form factor of it is really designed for videography. So in my opinion, if Fujifilm can make the Eterna, why can they not make the X-H2S in the same body? Of course, the body of this new X-H2S is going to be quite a bit smaller because the sensor is a lot smaller, and I would think that the cooling is not as intense as it would be on the Eterna camera. And of course, when you have a box-style body, it would be very nice if Fujifilm made a new high-capacity battery that just clicks on, kind of like a V-mount, but it's specifically made for that body. Perhaps they could give us a monitor that attaches with an interface and is powered by that same battery, so you don't have a bunch of cables all over the place. And maybe now, because you have better heat management, maybe now Fuji would be able to give us, 6K 60 open gate. Well, right now we're, limited to 6K in 30 frames per second. And I think that that's probably a heat management thing. It could be processor related. I do not know. But if it's not processor limited and it's a heat management thing, then why not give us 6K 60? So you guys tell me, would you be interested if Fujifilm dropped a cinema body styled X-H2S with all the inputs, connectivity, and a bunch of, options to mount different things on top of it? And then imagine they make this camera and they price it anywhere between $3,000 to $3,500. And guys, honestly, I think a camera like that, if Fujifilm made a camera like that, it would absolutely disrupt the industry. So guys, that is it for me today. Thank you for watching. I know this is all hypothetical. I know this is basically a wish list, but I truly, truly think Fujifilm can make something like that. They just need to know that there's a demand for such a product. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.